For all new and current subscribers, welcome back to Resilient Love.
Resilient is being able to overcome difficult situations. This podcast is about love,
tips on life, and how to level up in your business. Let's get started on the journey.
All right, and we're back with another episode
of Resilient Love.
Hope you guys are doing well. We're in a new month. Happy March.
Yep, happy March.
So, today's topic is one that's a little different. We are stepping into the tips on life topic. You know, with Resilient Love Podcast, we talk about love, tips on life, and how to level up in your business. And we are focusing on a movie that has been out since February called Just Mercy. And it's a story of justice and redemption that is actually started as a book written by Bryan Stevenson. And so Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx came together to create the movie.
Big shout out to Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx because they did an awesome job.
They really did an awesome job. So we're not going to ruin the story for those of you who have not seen the movie, but we are going to relate it to a real life situation and just give a perspective shift, if we could say that. So do you want to just give them some background of what it is and how it began?
So, Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson was a young lawyer when he founded the Equal Justice Initiative, a nonprofit law office in Montgomery, Alabama, dedicated to defending the poor, the incarcerated, and the wrongly condemned. Just Mercy tells the story of EJI from the early days, with small staff facing the nation's highest death sentencing execution rates, through a successful campaign to challenge the cruel practice of sentencing children to die in prison, to revolutionary projects designed to confront the Americans with our history of racial injustice.
One of EJI's first clients was Walter McMillan, a young black man who was sentenced to die for the murder of a young white woman that he didn't commit. The case exemplifies how the death penalty in America is a direct descendant of lynching, a system that treats the rich and guilty better than the poor and innocent. That was a mouthful right there, but it's an unforgettable true story that promotes mercy, that calls upon redemption, and it's a clarion call to end mass incarceration in America. And so Bryan Stevenson is a very inspirational gentleman, and Michael B. Jordan played his role very well. And man, Jamie Foxx played the role of Walter McMillan very well. You really saw the storyline, just the highs and lows of the emotions and that time frame, the setting, and every supporting role came together to really bring this story of justice and redemption full circle. So I think they did an awesome job. So that's our thoughts on the story and the movie itself.
And honestly, every actor in that movie did an awesome job.
Yeah, it was truly every person, even the, what are they called? Like the extras. Mm-hmm. Even the extras were on point.
Right.
Like, it was just truly an awesome film.
It's how to make a movie right there.
Literally, that was a lesson on howtomakamovie.com, okay? Don't try to take that little handle either. But we bring this up because of a recent case that occurred At the time we're recording this episode, almost 24 hours ago, we lost a brother, a friend. Somebody lost their significant other. Alabama executes Nathaniel Woods Jr., linking him to the killings of 3 police officers. And
he had no last words.
This took place again in Alabama. And we bring this up because the death row inmate Nathaniel Woods Jr., 43, was executed in Alabama on Thursday, March the 5th, 2020, after being convicted of capital murder for his role in another defendant's killing of 3 Birmingham police officers in 2004. Can we just have a moment of silence?
Okay. So, I know this is a little different for us, but this kind of hits home, especially after us seeing the movie. It's one thing to see a movie that was actually a true story, but it's another thing to relive it again in modern day time. Basically, modern day lynching. It's almost like we're going back into history in modern day. We're just doing it in a new way of lethal injection, execution.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to get to what the root of the problem is. The root of the problem is the justice system. The justice system has typically never been in favor for African American descent. Has been like that since law has pretty much been written. The even bigger problem with that is that these laws have not yet been reversed or dismissed out of the books. These laws should not be still on the law books today. This is at no time was this applicable in any day or circumstance. Even the Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill."
Mm-hmm.
Under any circumstance. And I do understand that a lot of people have their viewpoints, and I've heard them. And some of them are very disturbing. But I'm going to tell you, it is very imperative that you learn to listen even when you don't agree. Because psychologically, it helps you to begin to understand just a portion of this world and the issues amongst it. A lot of people may think that, the theory is that something, if we execute them and they are a criminal, then that means taxpayers get to save money and we don't have to feed them until they die. But here's true facts that, true facts that everyone that is serving time and that is incarcerated are not guilty people.
Mm-hmm.
Every case has not been properly handled, and the evidence has not properly been brought forth and presented. Therefore, we have a lot of incarcerated folks that are innocent.
Yes.
But have been proven guilty, but by false pretense.
Mm-hmm.
So the question now kind of rises, do we go back and retry every case? Well, if that's what it takes, to get justice, then that's what we're going to have to do.
And I believe that's why Brian Stevenson named his nonprofit Equal Justice Initiative, because everybody deserves their day in court, their right to equal justice.
Right. Rich or poor.
Right. And, we do not know Mr. Woods, God rest his soul. We do not know this gentleman, but his story hit home because he's literally been in the Alabama prison system since 2004. And he's only been tried once. And they told him to deny the plea deal of 20 to 25 years. He's been in jail for over 14 years. And now he's gone. And numerous times there were individuals that came forth with their telling of the events, and they said in their statements he wasn't a part of it. But see, the movie Just Mercy, what we're saying to you guys who are listening to this episode is to really just show mercy. Show mercy not only to those who are incarcerated and to the justice system that needs to be reformed, but take it to the next level. Take it to a spiritual level. Show mercy. Just God's mercy is what keeps us and covers us in our wrongs and in our rights. It is just mercy that keeps us here day by day. We have not done anything so great. This gentleman was in his household relaxing when the police at the time of this particular incident just literally with no warrant busted in his household. They invaded his space. And in turn, a friend that was actually visiting was the one to actually shoot the fire. The shots fired came from somebody else. That the police officers sprayed pepper spray on the gentleman. I mean, go back and check the reports, you guys. Fox News, any type of news report. Type in Nathaniel Woods Jr. and you'll get the full report of what had happened.
And that's what law is supposed to be for. See, with the warrant, it's supposed to be to cover. In this case, we don't know the circumstance of what exactly happened, but we all know without a warrant, you can't just bust up in nowhere.
So there was a lot of things about this case that were not assessed, and we don't claim to be lawyers.
Correct.
But we just are concerned citizens of our country.
Looking at the facts, looking at what is presented.
And taking into account that, they took away this man's life. They took away this man's rights, all because of the color of his skin. Where was the mercy? Where was it?
And, it's almost like we try, in this country, it's almost like we make the Bible applicable to what we want it to be. Like what liberty, justice for. Not that's part of law, but it's the other part. In God we trust with the dollar bill. But when it comes to things like this, just mercy.
No scripture reference.
Exactly. So we it's almost going back to the days of slavery where the Bible was used and misinterpreted to
keep
the minds of the slaves
in bondage.
Yep.
So we challenge you guys to, number one, do your research. Again, we're still researching this topic. We're still researching, just different aspects of capital punishment and how the justice system works.
And number 2, get to know who your senators are, who your House of Representatives are.
It's voting time, guys.
Learn how to use these people to get what needs to be done. It is time to make some corrections. If the corrections are not made now, then our children will have to pay the consequences again.
How can you have a correctional facility, but they do everything incorrect?
I don't know if I want to answer that.
But I did want to also point out a few more things. One being that because we live in the state of North Carolina, the capital punishment in the state of North Carolina is lethal injection. Now, the other article that I wanted to bring up is the deathpenaltyinfo.org. Executions of 2020. To this date of our recording, which is March the 6th, 2020, there have been 5 executions this year so far. And, excuse me, I bring this up because there has literally been an execution per month. 2 in January, 2 in February, and 1 literally yesterday.
And let's read out the names.
John Gardner,
Texas, age 64.
Donnie Lance,
Georgia, age 65.
Abel Oka,
Texas, 47 age.
Nicholas Todd Sutton,
Tennessee, age 58.
Nathaniel Woods,
Alabama, age 43. We do not know. We the only current one we really know the most facts currently about is Nathaniel Woods. Of course, the other 4 we are not really aware of exactly what took place in those cases. But from the basic point, what we're saying is it is time to get rid of an old law that is not working.
And it's time for us as citizens of this country to be concerned about other citizens of this country.
Whether we know them or not.
We have to stop this narrative that our leadership has established of this divide and conquer.
Because D.C. right now looks like a pure joke.
We have to come together, each state, each
and I like it what you're saying. Basically what you're saying, I said that D.C. seems like a circus. It looks like a joke right now because it does. But that does not define every state. And if every state would stand up together in unity and do what is right, Washington will have no choice
but to come together.
Correct.
So we challenge you, whoever you are, get active in your community. Get connected with your local government. Stay in the know. Be a part of the change that you want to see. And always remember, just mercy. Just mercy. Go check out the movie. Go read his book. And consider the names that were listed. God rest their souls. Consider the names, whether they were right or wrong. Consider the names.
And let's begin to look at the correctional institution in a different way, because it's supposed to be to correct the problem or to at least figure out
some type of rehabilitation
method. Even if the person serves life, I believe one life that may serve life does not mean it does not have a life of no purpose.
Yeah. So, I know this topic was a little deep and very complex. It is one that we are still developing, but we wanted to bring to you what we have learned and gathered thus far. So if you have any feedback, if you want to continue this dialogue, comment below, share this with someone. Maybe they can help us to learn more about how we can get connected in our local state, which is North Carolina. So again, thank you guys for listening. This was different for Resilient Love, but we want to be the change. We desire to be the change that we want to see in this community and in our country, And so it starts with us doing the research and being advocates. So thank you guys again for listening. And
thank you, and we hope that with this, that it will help you to begin to get proactive, because we definitely don't want to wait until this issue arises at our doorsteps. And, we may think that it couldn't happen to us, but I'm pretty sure Mr. Wood's family thought it couldn't happen to them. So take that in consideration, that it could be you. So be proactive. Help another brother or sister.
And just show mercy.
Thanks so much for listening to Resilient Love Podcast. We wanted to take this opportunity to also let you know that you can help us by committing to a monthly fee of 99 cents, $2.99, or $9.99. Those contributions help us to keep this movement of resilient love going. Blessings to all listeners and subscribers. Thank you all.
Resilient love.